It's October 8th, 2022. We're in the Rogers Center for Game 2 of the AL Wildcard series. It's the bottom of the ninth, and the long-suffering Toronto Blue Jays are down 9-10 to the longer-suffering Seattle Mariners. But baseball's not a suffering contest. Well, actually, you know what? Let's rewind. This episode is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. The Blue Jays are an out away from being eliminated, so why are these fans so happy? Well, I don't know them. It could be something personal, maybe something gambling related. But also, they're probably happy because they're actually in the playoffs. The bar used to be higher for happiness in Toronto. In 2015 and 16, it was fun to be a Blue Jays fan. Life was nothing but deep playoff runs, wildcard winning walk-offs, and statement bat flips. The future looked bright. What's that say? Print's too small. Yes, the future looked bright. Ah, crap. That's worse. Oh, God. After a couple oops-all-injuries seasons, the Jays threw in the towel in the summer of 2018, no longer attempting to ride the wave of their ALCS teams. They were starting over. In those dark times, they couldn't bribe fans to come to games. And they tried to, with cheap beer. They just kind of bungled the execution. They did have a solid farm system, and by 2021, there was finally reason for excitement. The homegrown kids were flashing star, if not superstar, potential. Acquisition Robbie Ray was the Cy Young winner, and best of all, the Jays won 91 games, which wasn't enough to make the postseason. They missed the wild card by 1 game. But okay, let's try again. 2022 should be good. They lost Robbie Ray, but gained Kevin Gausman, so all good. Yes, eventually. After a speed bump, Toronto got a new manager and finished strong. They won 5 of their last 6 games to clinch the wild card, and it's safe to say the fans had come back around. Here's proof. In September, Guerrero Jr. hit a walk-off in the 10th against the Yankees that moved the Jays 2.5 games ahead in the wildcard race. And fans saw it as a testament to how great God was. After 6 years, the Blue Jays were competitive again. So yeah, you might see a little extra jubilation in fans tonight. 6 years is a long time to wait for your team to be competitive. Just don't tell that to a Mariners fan. Before this series, the Mariners had not been to the playoffs since 2001. I'll do the math for you, that's 21 years, which is more than 6. And it's not like Seattle was running the postseason before 2001. In their 45 years of existence before this season, they'd been to the playoffs 4 times. They'd been above 500 just 15 times. To be a Mariners fan was, at least according to one writer, to be akin to the heroine in the ancient Greek epic poem The Odyssey, waiting for her beloved to return home after years and years of fighting the vengeful god of the sea. A lot of God talk between these two fan bases. They take the game seriously. So, how'd the Mariners get good enough to make the wildcard series this year? Well, that started in 2018. They won 89 games that year, which was their best since 2003. You're likely expecting me to say they steadily improved from 89 games to the drought-busting wildcard berth of 2022. But that's not what happened. The Mariners tore down that 2018 team in favor of a rebuild. Part of the reason was that they had the oldest offense in the league, and part of the reason was that, unlike Toronto, they had a terrible farm system. In 2016, it was called a turd sandwich, though by 2018 it had improved to simply the worst farm system in baseball. With a bunch of oldies, nobody to call up, and no prospects to trade, the only way the Mariners could provide for their future was to give up on the 2018 89-win team and start over. In just a matter of weeks, fans saw the front office dismantle any semblance of hope they had. 2019 was just terrible. COVID season was bad, because of the pandemic and also the record. And then, that was a surprise. And it's more surprising when you look at their 2021 run differential. It's odd they were able to win so many games with a black mark like that on their stat sheet. But this stat here provides a bit of an explanation. What is fun differential? Well, it's a new statistic invented by manager Scott Service, who was tired of being asked about his team's lousy run differential and wanted to highlight what was going right. The Mariners were winning close games in the clutch. They had 10 walk-offs in total this year. It was fun to be a Mariners fan. As proof, I present July 26, 2021. Seattle was down 7-0 in the fourth to the division-leading Houston Astros. While some years you might turn off the TV with a score like that, last year was different. The Mariners rallied back and were down just 8-7 in the bottom of the eighth. And then Dylan Moore did this. Look at the fans. That's what a fun differential is. I hate to bring the mood down, but you remember the 21-year drought thing, right? They did not make the playoffs in 2021. But everyone thought Seattle could end the drought in 2022. One ESPN analyst even thought they could win the division. They made some smart offseason moves, one in particular to the detriment of Toronto, signing Robbie Ray. Those high hopes looked foolish come mid-June. But you know that old expression, it's always darkest before a team figures their shit out. Robbie Ray stopped being disappointing, Cal Raleigh started hitting after a stint in the minors, and Julio Rodriguez took off in the back half of the season. He's a top Rookie of the Year candidate. In early July, Seattle went on a 14-game win streak, and they kept the fun alive, winning half of those 14 games by just one run. They also started dancing. Management capitalized on the momentum and made a win-now move, trading 5 prospects for Luis Castillo. Then, on September 30th, it finally happened. Bottom of the ninth, tie game, 2 outs, Raleigh pitch hitting. The fun differential was even higher this year. The Mariners made history. And they can expand their history-making tonight. All they have to do is get one more out. Maybe they should target this guy, Raimel Tapia, who wasn't even supposed to be right here, right now. Tapia's only in this game because Whit Merrifield took a pitch to the head in the bottom of the 5th. Hang on, what's the score right over there? 8-1 Toronto? Okay, well, since we've got the remote out, let me just... 10-9 Seattle, 8-1 Toronto. This is from the same game? Yes. How'd the score flip around like that? Well, it was a reasonable 4-1 Blue Jays in the bottom of the 5th when the Mariners started to unravel. A Cal Raleigh passed ball with the bases loaded made it 5-1, but nobody's going to hold it against him. He is a Pacific Northwest hero. 2 batters later, with the bases loaded again, Paul Sewald hit Teoscar Hernandez. That's 6-1, and it's where I got the word unravel from.
And it's unraveling for the Mariners here.
Sewald gave up a couple more runs, getting us to 8-1, which is when Diego Castillo came in and hit Whit Merrifield in the head to load the bases. He did manage to escape, though. So that's how the Mariners dug their hole. How'd they climb out of it? In the top of the 6th, Gausman faltered a little bit. He'd thrown 4 no-hit innings, but in the 6th, he gave up 3 consecutive singles to load the bases. Management said goodnight to Gausman and brought in Tim Meza, which was an interesting choice considering DH Carlos Santana was up and he hits better off of lefties. Yes, he does. He walloped a 3-run homer and put his team back in this game. A couple innings later, J.P. Crawford popped up for the 3rd out. Ooh, we got a nasty collision between Bichette and George Springer. Scary for the future of the Blue Jays, and also the present. Mariners tied the game on this play. Raleigh scored in the 9th, and here we are, an out away from glory. And who is this baby-faced fellow the Mariners are entrusting with getting that out? A rookie who has never pitched in relief before. Cool. George Kirby was drafted 20th overall in 2019 out of Elon University. His rookie status means he's inexperienced, but even considering that, he hasn't really pitched that many innings. His career high at Elon was 90 1/3 innings in a college season. His first year in the minors, he threw just 23 innings. Then he missed all of 2020 because COVID wrecked the minor league season. Kirby was called up in May of this year, and the Mariners have been limiting his innings to protect his arm for the future. So why on earth are they trusting the series-winning out to a kid who hasn't pitched that much? because inexperience hasn't hindered George Kirby, who they call robo-pitcher. Only in baseball is being called a robot a compliment. Or maybe I guess in chess. Robots are good at chess. In his MLB debut, Kirby pitched 6 shutout innings and recorded 7 strikeouts. In August, he threw 24 consecutive strikes to start a game, setting an MLB record. He developed a 2-seam fastball this year to go along with his 4-seam fastball and his slider. His velocity dipped a bit in his previous 2 outings, and that's literally the only negative thing I can find about his performance. Scott Service said they need to teach him how to throw a ball, but that's pretty clearly a joke. You don't teach things to robots, you program them. And his velocity's been just fine tonight. He hit 98 miles per hour a bunch of times. He got Hernandez to ground out, no small feat considering Hernandez had 2 homers earlier this game. After a walk, he struck out Danny Jansen, who went 3 of 4 with 2 RBI before meeting Kirby tonight. Then the rookie threw 2 strikes to Tapia, and here we are. The Blue Jays need to hang on to this game to avoid squandering 6 years of rebuilding efforts. The Mariners need a single out to make further history and to reward their loyal fans with more than just a playoff appearance. Both these fan bases feel they're overdue for glory. But tonight, the suffering can end for only one team. Welcome to a moment in history.
Is 0-2. Tapia to center field. Rodriguez there makes the catch. And one of the great comebacks in playoff history sends the Mariners to the division series. An incredible win.
Thanks for watching, everybody. It means the world, no, the universe to me. We've got more videos I think you'd like. We've got a subscribe button. Check us out on Patreon. And for Secret Base, I'm Clara Morris. Good night and good game.